Hi guys, my name is Kara and I'm here in Singapore Changi Airport right now. I've been to Singapore many times but I haven't tried the free bus tour. So since I have a 9-hour connecting flight right now, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. So it's in Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. Right now I'm in Terminal 3. So here it is. Free bus tour. I'll go and register first. Okay guys, I'm just here at the lounge right now, sitting and waiting for the registration booth to open because it opens at 7 a.m. and right now it's just 6:24. So I'll be doing some things instead. Yeah. Yan guys, so I'm done registering for the free bus tour here and in the Singapore free Singapore tour booth. Then I don't have to go to the immigration anymore because they did it for us already. So the tours that they have are Jewel Tour and Heritage Tour. Here, the Jewel Tour, it's just here inside the Changi Airport, and then Heritage Tour, this one you can go outside. The city side tours also 3 it's 3. So yeah, I took the Heritage Tour so I can go out, and then it gave me the 10 a.m. because 9 a.m. is already full. So I just need to sit here again, relax, and wait for the bus. Alright, we will start the tour now. Yan na, so papunta na kami sa may... Alright, so we're already going to the free bus tour now. It's here.
Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good. My name is Nancy, and it's my pleasure to guide for this morning. We're going on the Heritage Tour. We will bring down the city, show you the beautiful city of Singapore. Yeah, journey from here to the city will take us about 20-25 minutes, and this will be the best tour for you to sleep. Yes, I know you have a long flight to Singapore. Now feeling a bit tired, a little bit sleeping. After rocking you for the next 15 minutes, your eyes will close. So if you need to close your eyes, I do understand. Yeah, go ahead, close your eyes. Just think of what you miss in these 2.5 hours. Yeah, promise me not to snore too loud. And for information, did you see the signage? You see this? Thank you very much. Please do not eat and drink in the bus. Water is allowed, but not food and coffee, tea. Not allowed to bring into the bus. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay, so on behalf of the sponsors are the Singapore Airlines, Singapore Tourism Board, and Changi Airport Group. Yang would like to say, selamat datang ke Singapura. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's a greeting in Singapore in our national language. Our national language is in Malay. So selamat datang means welcome ke Singapura, into Singapore. So when you're in Singapore, you hear people greeting you, selamat datang.
Selamat datang.
Just look. Say thank you. Yeah, people welcome you to the country. And that is terima kasih. Terima kasih is thank you. You learn something new. So hopefully at the end of the tour, you still remember this word. Tell me terima kasih. Not now, at the end of the tour. If you still remember, yes, that means you learned something new. Terima kasih. Thank you. So we just depart our Singapore Changi Airport, located at the eastern part of the island, and today we have 4 terminals. Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3, and we have another Terminal 4. Yeah, Terminal 4, for information, is our famous automated terminal. Automated? You know what automated? Automated means there's no people to help you. Yeah, you have to do it all by yourself. Okay, you go into the building, you only see machine. Yeah, go to the machine, scan your passport, bring your own boarding pass, bring your own luggage tag, take your bag, drop your bag, scan your body all the way to the plane. That's called automated. You have not seen automated? When you come back, you take a shuttle bus, go to Terminal 4 and take a look. What is automated terminal? Okay, that's our Terminal 4. So the 4 terminals can handle 84 million people. Yeah, people like you transiting in Singapore as well as people visiting Singapore. So talking about visitors to Singapore, we're proud to announce to you that we have hit 16.4 million visitors. And we are one of the few countries that has not doubled but triple the population. That means to say 5 million population, 16 million visitors. Wow. Not many countries can achieve double. We achieve triple. And that's why you get free tour. Yeah, we want you to come back again to meet our next target. Our next target is 20 million visitors. So do tell your friends about Singapore, do tell your loved one about Singapore. Hopefully, you can make Singapore your next holiday destination. Promise to come back?
Yes.
I hope so. Yeah, our Terminal 4 over there, you can see after the next bridge, you can see on the left, that's our Terminal 4. You can see a building behind this building. Can you see that? Behind the building? That's our Terminal 4. And by the way, for your information, our Terminal 5 is already on the way.
Wow.
Yeah, somewhere between Terminal 2 and Terminal 4. Okay, in between, yeah, that's going to be our Terminal 5. So look out for that. Maybe the next time you come back, you might be landing into our Terminal 5. Yeah, that's our Changi Airport. Now, Singapore is a tropical island with just 1 degree north of equator. That's about 137 kilometers away from equator. So we have equal day and night. We have beautiful sunshine all year round and abundance of rainfall. So with this sunshine and rainfall, we're able to keep Singapore so green. All thanks to our first Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. He's the one who came up with this idea to make Singapore a garden city. So with the help of the national passport, he's able to keep all these trees green throughout the year. And it's so green that some of people wondering, is it a garden within the city? Or is it a city within the garden? So it looks like you're going into a garden to look for a city. So as we drive you down this 20 kilometers expressway, you can enjoy this beautiful greenery. So talking about this garden city of Singapore, before you fly into Singapore, has anyone looked into the world map and tried to locate Singapore? Never do homework. Where is Singapore? Can I have a country nearby?
Malaysia?
Malaysia, yes. Many a time when I ask people where is Singapore, they always like to relate us to Malaysia. Yeah, because if you do look at the world map, you can find Malaysia. And when you come to the southern tip of Malaysia, that's where you see the word Singapore. But you cannot find our island. Why? Because our island is so small that the word Singapore has covered the whole island. So therefore, a lot of times, people also mistaken that Singapore is part of Malaysia. Actually, we're not part of Malaysia, we're one island by ourselves. Singapore is consists of the main island and 63 small islands all around this main island. Majority of people are staying on the main island, and the main island is measuring from north to south 27 kilometers, east to the west, longest 50 kilometers. That's all. Yeah, with the 63 small islands, you need a total landmass of 720 square kilometers. After telling you 720, I know some of you still wondering how small is 720. So let me give you another way of comparison. Put Singapore into United States. Do you know that you put 14,000 Singapore into United States or China? You put 11,000 Singapore into Australia. 550 Singapore into Japan. 4,700 Singapore make one India. Now with this comparison you see, oh, Singapore really very small. I know you start comparing to your town. If you compare my country to your town, I think your town already bigger than Singapore. Yes, New Delhi already bigger than Singapore. So we have to say, yes, we are small. So although we are small, you'll be surprised there's a population of 5.6 million people. We are one of the most populated countries in the world, with over 7,000 people per square kilometer. Compared to Australia 600, 700, we have 7,000 people per square kilometer. So you can see Singapore, we cannot grow this way, we grow this way. So all our buildings and apartments are all very tall. They are meant to accommodate to the growing population in Singapore. Now Singapore is a multi-racial country. Out of the 5.6 million, over a million are foreigners. They are here to work, study or long-term visit. The rest make a population of 77% Chinese, 14% Malay, 8% of Indian, and the rest mixture. I always say good mixture. Yeah, because whatever kind of people you name it, I have it here. Yeah, people like Javanese people, Bugis people, Armenian people. Yeah, we also have a group of minority. I believe you heard about the Sikh. The Sikh, the one that went to Durban, is one of the minority. Another minority very interesting called Peranakan. Peranakan are straight-born Chinese. Imagine Chinese from China, they come to Singapore, married local Malay. They produce a new generation called Peranakan. Outside look like a Malay, inside follow Chinese. Chinese culture, Chinese custom, Chinese festival. Just this makes the lifestyle very interesting. We even have a Peranakan museum that can learn more about Peranakan. So in this multi-racial country, it's hard to imagine how we're able to live under one roof. So I'm going to show you the houses that we people stay and share with you how to tell the difference between a private house and the government-built apartment. Now look to your right, look to your left, you can see a beautiful park that's called the East Coast Park. Very popular to the locals as well as the tourists. The locals like to spend time with their family over here for bonding, like over the weekend, they come here for swimming, cycling, rollerblading, yeah, bonding time. Whereas for the tourists, they like to come here for the East Coast Seafood Center. Yeah, there's a very famous chili crabs and pepper crabs that you can get it from this seafood center. Yeah, that's our East Coast Park. Now coming up on your right, you can see houses coming up. Yeah, these are private houses. We call them private condominiums. Condominiums usually come with their own facility like swimming pool, jacuzzi, tennis court, badminton hall, function room. All these are within the condominiums. So the people just need to pay a monthly maintenance fee. They can make use of all the facilities. These houses are ranging from 800,000 to 1.5 million dollars. Singapore money, per unit, not the whole block, per unit. Wow, look at the price. I know you're thinking, Singaporean already rich? No, you'll be surprised. 85% of the population live in government-built apartments. Government-built apartments are cheaper. Look to your right. You see this simple one? Not much color, not much design. These are built by the government. They are sold to us at subsidized rate. These houses are ranging from 80,000 to 500,000. Compared to the 800,000, this is more affordable. Yeah, we can afford because we can pay by installment. Over 10 years, 20 years, up to 30 years. So in other words to say, as long as you're working, you can afford a house. Yeah, but as I say, look out the window, there's so many houses out there. Will you be able to tell which one is private, which is government? Let's try. This one. Is it private or government? Private. Any objection? This is private. Yeah, but how do I know it's private? Very simple. You're thinking about Okay, sir, but I know it's a private. Let me show you. Next door. Look at the next door. Okay, you see this block, blue and white and blue? Can you see the fence? See the fence? When you see the house with the fence, this is private. Private houses, you not only pay for facility, you also pay for security. So all the business will be screened through by security, so you don't have unnecessary salesmen coming to knock at your door. Unlike for the government apartment, look next door. You see this one? It's open. Any salesman can just walk out. This is government. So in Singapore, it's easy. Every time you see a house, you look for the fence. If you see the fence, private. No fence, government. Simple. Yeah, this government apartment, they are not only affordable, they are also very convenient. Within the walking distance, you can find things like wet market, dry market, supermarkets. Look over there. Can you see a junior college? The schools are nearby, public pools, public libraries, they are all within the walking distance. And you can see the government creates nice covered walkway. We have a nice garden to walk your dogs. We also have ample parking space for your car. So it's a very cozy, comfortable environment to live in. So whether you go to the north, south, east or western part of the island, you can see our government-built houses together with the private houses. In Singapore, we do not have a place all the rich, a place all the poor. No. Whether you are rich or poor, we put you side by side. So did you just realize I show you private, government, yeah? We mix them up. Yeah, this is something good about Singapore. Now let me take this opportunity to share with you a little history about Singapore. I'd like to bring you way back to 14th century. In the 14th century, Singapore has a little island called Temasek. Temasek is actually another word for sea town. We earn a living through fishing. So one day young prince of Palembang is one of the islands of Indonesia. As he was sailing down this region, his ship caught in a storm and forced to land into Temasek. When he landed in Temasek, he saw a white creature runs across. Couldn't figure out what it was. His man told him, lion. Recognizing that lion is an auspicious animal, he decided to build a city on this island, and he renamed this island Singapura. Singapura is actually a Sanskrit word. Singa is lion, Pura is city. So that's how Singapore derived the name Lion City. So for many years this island was not in use until 1890. 1890, Sir Stamford Raffles arrived. He's our modern founder, an Englishman working for the East India Company. So due to the expanding trade between China and British, he decided to look for a good trading port in this region. So geographically, we find Singapore a very good location for the East to meet the West. So therefore he signed a treaty with the local king to make Singapore a trading port. And he made it a free port. 2 years later, he signed another agreement to make Singapore a British colony. So all these years we were in the hands of British until 1942. 1942, Singapore fell into the hands of Japanese for 3.5 years. It was a very tough year, but we managed to pull through. 1945, back to the British. After the war, the British decided to give us self-rule. So we got self-government in 1959. We appointed a few ministers to look after different portfolios. And look at the situation, we realized Singapore do not have natural resources. So without natural resources, how are we going to survive? So after some thought, we decided to marry someone with resources. So the nearest to us is Malaysia. We merged with Malaysia in 1963. We formed the Federation of Malaysia. However, the marriage doesn't last too long. Due to some conflict of interest, some political reasons, we divorced. We divorced in 1965 and we become independent. So every year, 9th of August, we celebrate our Independence Day and that's our National Day. So for information, 2 months ago, August 9th, we just celebrated our 54 years birthday. 54 years birthday, we're independent for 54 years without natural resources. Who say we cannot survive? We survived it. So we're proud to present to you, this is our country, this is our home. You can see everything is well organized, everything is well managed by people. We do not have problem with people. able to live harmony under one roof. And on top of that, in Singapore, there's no earthquake, no typhoon, no hurricane, no flood, no tsunami. Yeah, we're well protected by all our neighbors, so no major disaster. Isn't it wonderful to stay in Singapore?
Yes.
Yes, I'd like to welcome everyone to Singapore. So with that little history, we bring you very close to the city. In a short while, we're going to cross over the longest bridge in Singapore, called the Benjamin Shear Bridge, named after our late president, Dr. Benjamin Shear. He's our second president, a very well-known guy. So to remember his contribution, we named this bridge after him. As we cross over the bridge, we're also crossing over the Singapore River. The Singapore River that meets the sea on the left. And above the river, we have a $226 million Marina Barrage. It is above the Singapore River, making Singapore River our 15th reservoir. Yes, that brings three benefits to Singapore: flood control, more fresh water. We're going to have more activities coming into our Singapore River. So talking about activities, currently we have our sea sports like water skiing, canoeing, boat racing, river cruising on our Singapore River. In future, we're going to bring more. And at the same time, I believe you heard about Formula 1, you heard about F1?
Yes.
Formula 1 City Night Race was held last month, September, we just had our Formula 1. I'm going to show you to the Grand Prix, where they start the race. Okay, this F1 is only held in Singapore once a year, in September. Okay, we just ended the last month, so we are in the midst of tearing down some of the fence. So keep your eye on your left. So look to the left hand side, piece of land on your left. This is actually a reclaimed land. Yeah, we reclaimed the land to make Singapore bigger. So we let the sand settle down. Yeah, in future we're going to build something over here. You can see the development now. Yeah, this is actually a piece of reclaimed land. That's our Singapore River, meaning the sea. At the bottom of the river, you see the Marina Barrage. Yeah, that's the dam. Yeah, the dam of Singapore has a 15 reservoir. The two skeleton buildings, that is part of the garden by the bay. The two dome, flower dome and the cloud forest dome with the 18 super trees. That's called the garden by the bay. And you keep looking on the left, you see the building on the right side of the river. That's the Grand Prix for Formula 1. Yeah, we're in the midst of tearing down the building. Yeah, that is a temporary building for Formula 1. Can you see the track coming up? That is the track that we start the race. Can you see the marking? The marking, you see this is where they start the race. From here they go up, make a right turn behind the wheel, and another right turn, they go into the city. This brings a lot of revenue as well as image of Singapore. The big giant view that you're looking at is called the Singapore Flyer. Singapore Flyer is the world's largest observation view. Now it's number 2, standing at a height of 165 meters tall, a nice way to see the whole island of Singapore. One round will take you 35 minutes. So you want to see the whole island, you can visit our Singapore Flyer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have entered into the city. On the left is Suntec City. Suntec City is a convention center formerly owned by 11 Hong Kong owners. Hong Kong people are just like the Chinese in Singapore. We practice Feng Shui. Feng Shui is geometry. Geometry is balancing of yourself with the environment to enhance your business. So the design of Suntec City is just like your left palm. Yeah, put up your left hand. You're going to see 4 tall towers, 45 story, a short tower, 18 story the top, and sitting in the center is called the Fountain of Wealth, the world's largest fountain. Look in front of you. You see the big ring with the 4 legs? The water will flow up from the ring and it flows inwards. Put your left hand. Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5 is on the right. The short one is 5 the top. This is called the Fountain of Wealth. The water will flow up from the ring and it flows inwards. Water means money. It's telling you, money well kept in my pot. So all the business over here, they're doing very well. So this is what we call practicing of Feng Shui. Feng Shui is something that you believe, it works. You don't believe, it doesn't work. In Singapore, we all choose to believe that it works. So today, not only the Chinese practice Feng Shui, even non-Chinese like the Europeans as well as the Indians, they are practicing Feng Shui. So look around, you can see a lot of modern buildings. But you look carefully at the design of these modern buildings, you realize they carry a little element of something. So right side is Marina Square, one of the biggest shopping malls. Left side is the Marina Bay. Yeah, you can see the Singapore Flyer and the Formula One. So talking about Formula One, Singapore is one of the few countries that are using road as a circuit. We don't have a racing track. We are using road. Yeah, of course, during the race, we'll close the traffic. We're not going to race with all these buses and cars. Okay, so I'm going to show you which part of the road that we use for Formula One. So if you look in front of you, after the junction, you can see an empty space. Yeah, this is where we have a lot of functions, a lot of activities for the sponsors as well as the supporters. So this whole place will be closed during the Formula One. Yeah, you can see empty space here. Yeah, this is where they have a lot of activities. Yeah, during the Formula One. So we're going to make a right turn in front. We're going to make a right turn. You look to your left. Yeah, that's how I show you the Grand Prix, right? So they go down this way. Behind the wheel, they make a right turn and another right turn over there. You can see the track from there. In front of you, on the left, you can see the track. Yeah, that's where they turn left. Yeah, they turn right and then they turn left. Okay, they will come out and turn left. Can you look over there? Can you see the track? That's where they come out. They come out and left. We're making a right turn. You are now on the track. Imagine yourself in a motor car, traveling at the speed of 360 kilometers per hour. Look up. Cannot see. They go straight down this way, left turn, right turn, and come back. So this is the track for Formula One. Hello, we are on the F1 driver, so please sit down. Thank you. So they will go down this way, yeah? So you can see some familiar places. If you watch it on TV, last month if you watch on TV, you see some familiar places. So this is the track for Formula One. On the left, this is our $600 million building called Esplanade. Esplanade or Esplanade Theatre on the Bay. This is where they house all the premium performance like drama show, orchestra show, symphony show. All the big plays are played over here. You can see the two spiky notes. Some people say it look like porcupine. Some people say it look like pineapple. We locals like to call these durian.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got durian?
Yes, durian.
The smell. That is the king of the fruit. It's our local favorite fruit. Yeah, we love it so much that we give a slogan. You know what's the slogan? It smells like hell. It tastes like heaven. So if you dare to try, don't smell it. Just stuff it into the mouth. Delicious. Yeah, that's our famous durian. So in front of us is actually the colonial area. This area is actually assigned as colonial area. Our city is divided into four. Yeah, we have a Chinatown, Indian Town, Malay Town, and this is the civic district, the government area. Yeah, this is assigned by Sir Stamford Raffles. He divided the city in 1822. So I'm going to show you some of the important government buildings. Yeah, all these buildings are built during the colonial time. So make a left turn. You can see, look to your right hand side. Okay, on the right, there's a white spire building that is St. Andrew Cathedral. It's an Anglican church. Next door, you can see the building with a lot of pillars. That is our City Hall. Yeah, City Hall is very important. That's where the Japanese signed the surrender in 1945. And this is where we declare as independent 1965. And it's a big field that we celebrate our first National Day parade in front of the City Hall. Next door, we have the Green Dome. That is our old Supreme Court, the High Court. Yeah, together with the City Hall have already converted into National Gallery. The one behind is our new High Court, the one that is UFO. That's a new High Court. Okay, further down we actually have Parliament House, our Parliament House, a lot of many other important buildings over here. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make a stop, our first stop over here to see the Merlion. Half lion, half fish. Half lion represents Lion City, half fish representing the Temasek, the sea town. Together we call it the Merlion. It's placed at the mouth of the river, just a short walk from here to the Merlion. We're going to stop here for 25 minutes. Now my watch is 10:45, 10:40, sorry, 10:40. So we'll be here for 25 minutes. Can I know the time? What will be the time? 11. I have a clock to help me. I have a clock to help me. Okay, so 11:05. Please be back here. Okay? 11:05, you're not back. Thank you for coming Singapore. Taxis available to bring you back. That will cost you $20 over. So please follow me. I'm going to bring you to the Merlion. I'll show you where is Merlion and a little bit of free time and walk back the same way. Okay?
Alright guys, so this is our first stop, the Marina Bay. I've been here before with my high school friends. Shout out to Natividad and Christian Paras. So, we went there. The Merlion. We went there, but it was like evening and we were just goofing around. So, I can show you photos of that time when we went there for the comparison of how it looks like during nighttime and after. Yeah. So this bridge is Jubilee Bridge as according to the tour guide, and this is the Esplanade. At my back, Esplanade. This is their financial center. What else did you say? This is the famous hotel. Casino at the bottom, hotel in the middle, and then the what do you call that? Infinity pool at the top. She said that this Merlion is the mommy Merlion because on the other side there's a smaller one, so that's the baby Merlion, and the bigger one is at Sentosa, that's the daddy lion. But after 1 week they're gonna remove it, so maybe when I post this video it's already demolished or removed. I don't know why, she did not tell us the reason why. Yeah. This is how it looks like during morning time. It's still morning, yeah. Yeah, before 11. So, the reason, according to the tour guide, the reason why they have the water flowing down the mouth of the Merlion is because they believe water is money. So, it's like money flowing down the mouth of the lion. So, a lot of people are posing like their mouth open to catch the water so that they can catch the money. Something like that according to the tour guide. So pretty much it, guys. That's how it looks like.
Thank you for coming back. So that's our Merlion, the marina area. So you can see our four buildings like Victoria Theatre, Victoria Memorial Hall. Yeah, that is used to be our immigration department. Now it's Asian Civilization Museum. So there's so many colonial buildings over here. I like the best is this one coming up on your right. This one in front of you on the right, that is Fullerton Building. Fullerton Building was originally our General Post Office. Imagine how we convert a General Post Office into a 400-room hotel. Now it's known as Fullerton Hotel. They are very popular during the Formula 1. On Formula 1, this is one of the best right turns. They come turn this way, okay, turn right into here. Okay, so this is one of the famous hotels, fully booked during the Formula One. A lot of people book the hotel to watch the race. Yeah, because on the second level is a president suite with a big balcony. Yeah, the big balcony can accommodate 30 people. So a lot of people book this hotel, invite 30 friends to watch the race. Yeah, this way on the right side. Okay, this is one of the best right here. So see this beautiful building? It's hard to believe it's a general post office. Okay, so that's our Marina Bay. Just now you were there. Marina Bay, see our Merlion. This is Clifford Pier. This is where they do a lot of transactions, import and export. Yeah, import and export, they earn a lot of money. And today, on the right, can you see on the right? Financial center. Yeah, this is where you can see. This is where all the stock exchange, foreign exchange, as well as local international banks over here. They bring us one of the major income. Yeah, most of the people they work 5-day shift. So Monday to Friday they work 9 to 6. Saturday, Sunday close. If they work 5.5 days, then Monday to Friday 9 to 5. Saturday 9 to 1. Sunday is closed. When we come here Sunday, yesterday, you can see this place is very quiet. Yeah, because most of the people are not working. So we do not want to have a ghost town. We do not want to have a ghost town. So now we have a new downtown on the left. Left side is our new downtown. Yeah, they have a new concept called 24/7. Why is it called 24/7? If you look over there, can you see over there, you can see the blue building? Beside offices, they also have apartment. The one with the balcony, that is apartment. So a place for you to live, work and play 24/7. Okay, so this side on the left side is our new downtown. So you can come here anytime. You will see this place is very busy. Strong. Now our Chinatown is pretty big and it's unique. I always say that you have seen many Chinatown in the world. Our Chinatown is unique. Why is it unique? Yeah, because over here we not only have the different races. Yeah, we also have the different religious things like temple, Indian temple. Yeah. Next to a mosque, next to a Chinese temple. Yeah, we also have churches, we have Sikh temples, we have all kinds of places of worship, all within the walking distance of Chinatown. Yeah, that makes our Chinatown unique. Yeah, because we want to mark we're not only racial harmony, we're also religious harmony. Yeah, we can tolerate each other's religion, we respect each other's God, and therefore we can stay side by side. So Chinatown is actually a very good place for you to visit. If you have the time, I'd like to recommend that you come back to the city. Yeah, you can visit our Chinatown. You can see the different places of worship side by side. So we have a lot of food centers in Singapore. Yeah, hawker center like this. You can find all kinds of local food. So if you want something more economical and local, you can go to any of the food center or hawker center. You can find very interesting food that we have over here. So these are the shop houses. We call them shop houses. Downstairs the shop, upstairs is where they live. But today no longer called shop houses. Most of the people stay in high-rise apartments, so they use the downstairs as their office. Upstairs, no more houses. Yeah, some people they keep it as their own office, or they sublet to another people as offices. So this is a street, yeah, of one of the streets of Chinatown, where you can see the different places of worship. The Sub-Bridge Road. So when we cross the junction, you look to your left. This Sub-Bridge Road is where you can see the different places of worship. Very interesting mix of religious culture. You can actually learn about different religions in just one street road, with a different culture and a different religion. So it's very convenient for you to come down here. You want to come down over here, you can come by taxi. You can also come by train. Now we have a train. Our train, the subway is called MRT. Yeah, there's a station over here on your right. Chinatown Station. So this is the main street of Chinatown. So you can come here to do your shopping. Left side will be the mall. Right side will be the street shopping. So in the early days, we have a lot of immigrants from China. The Chinese immigrants, they like to find a house over here. Yeah, because most of the Chinese immigrants, they work along the Singapore River. Singapore River is just right in front. So it's easy for them to go to work. They can just walk to work or take a rickshaw, yeah, to go to work. Okay, so in front of us, we're going to cross over the Singapore River. Yeah, and you can see famous Clarke Quay. Q-U-A-Y is pronounced as Quay, not Quay, Quay. So very famous over here, we have the Clarke Quay, Boat Quay, Robertson Quay. These three quays are along the Singapore River. So this is a very famous quay where they have the famous night out. Yeah, night entertainment. Daytime is very quiet, but if you come down nighttime, this is a place, happening place. Yeah, a lot of people come here for dinner, supper, or just drinking. So you can see Central. See Central? Yeah, Central is one of the new shopping mall along Clarke Quay. So again, there's a station over here called Clarke Quay Station. So in Singapore, our MRT, the subway can bring you to all parts of Singapore. So we're going to cross over the Singapore River. You can see on your left. Okay, look to your left hand side, you can see this is the Singapore River. Oh. Okay. You can see the river. That's our Clarke Quay. You can see the bumboats, very nice river cruise, 40 minutes river cruise can tell you the history of Singapore River. Always look to your right hand side, you see the Marina Bay, the building with the flag on top, that is the new Parliament House. That's our Parliament House, where they have all the ministers' meetings. Yeah, the ministers' meetings held inside there. This building is built in 1909, but it's still in use. Okay, next door we have an Armenian church. This is an Armenian church built in 1835. Yeah, just to show you that Armenians are one of the minority. Yeah, we still have a few families left. And in fact, this area is called the Museum Receipt. Yeah, we have many museums over here. So if you love museum, you can come down and visit all the museums over here. From the Stamp Museum, Art Museum, Civilization Museum, Peranakan Museum, all located over here. Now coming over here, you can see left and right a few blocks of modern buildings. This is our third university. Yeah, we have three universities, two of them outside the city. This is the only one in the city. It's called the Singapore Management University. Yeah, we like to call it short SMU. Next door we have the National Museum. This is our history museum built in 1887. See how well we keep the building? It doesn't look 100 over years old. This is where they hold the history of Singapore. We're going to make a right turn. As we make a right turn to your left, you can see the road coming towards you. That's our famous Orchard Road. Orchard Road is our famous shopping mall. There will be lots of shopping centers on both sides of the road. You want to finish all the shopping centers in our Orchard Road? 3 days, 3 nights. Cannot finish. Too many shopping malls in our Orchard Road. Yeah, the best time to come for shopping in Orchard Road is actually during the Great Singapore Sale. Great Singapore Sale, the GSS, is held only once a year, around June, July. June, July, then we have this GSS once in a year, discount for branded items up to 70%. It's a sale worth waiting for. So if you love buying branded items, look out for GSS. Yeah, Singapore is a shopping paradise as well as food paradise. Yeah, I always tell the tourists, Singaporeans, we have two favorite pastimes. One is shopping, two is eating. Yeah, we love to eat and we love to shop. So everywhere you go, you can see shopping center and food center. Yeah, they are not only catered for you, they are actually catered for us. So after the junction, we're going to Selegie Road. Selegie Road will lead lead us into Serangoon Road, the Little India. Yeah, we have Indians all over the island, but they prefer to come back here to do their shopping. They say they can get everything over here. Things like sari shop, flower garden maker, antique shop, jewelry shop, spice shop, whatever pertaining to Indian culture, they can get it over here. So if you look in front of you, can you see the Serangoon Road? That is Little India. Can you see the decoration? Yeah, we are celebrating Diwali. You know Diwali? Yeah, Diwali is round the corner. So if you come here, the best is to come here at night. If you come here at night, when they light up, okay, when they put on the light, it's beautiful. Daytime is very simple, very quiet, but if you come down night time, you can see the light, beautiful. So you want to learn about Indian culture, you can come into Serangoon Road. Okay, this area, Little India. So we have the Chinatown, Indian town. Now I'm going to show you the Malay town. Yeah, majority of the Malays are Muslim, and the Muslims have to obey the 5 rules. Yeah, they have to pray. One of the rules is to pray 5 times a day. So over here, it's very popular. A lot of Muslims, they like to come here to do their prayer. Yeah, because we have a big mosque over here. This mosque is called Sultan Mosque. Sultan is king, the king's mosque. Yeah, the king used to pray in this mosque because his palace is just next to the mosque. Okay, so we're going to stop here for the second stop. Our second stop is a very short one. Yeah, I'm just going to walk you to the mosque and walk back. Okay, so can you see Haji Lane? This is a hippie town, a hipster town. So a lot of people, they like to come here because a lot of pubs. Can you see? There's a lot of people already. Especially over the weekend. You can see lots of people after 4 p.m., 5 p.m. A lot of people come here. They have very nice boutique shop, very nice bakery shop, as well as KFC. Okay, want to see.
Alright, so we are in the second location in Malay Heritage Center. We are going inside the mosque. The museum is closed, so we can't go inside. This is the mosque. I've never been here before. And probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this tour.
Prayer. Yeah, one of the rules of the Muslim is to pray 5 times a day. 5 times a day. Okay, so that's why this mosque is very important. And this mosque is huge. Yeah, it has a big golden dome on top. See the big golden dome? Yeah, and it has a big prayer hall. The big prayer hall can accommodate 5,000 devotees. Yeah, like over here, you see the Indonesian cuisine. Yeah, the mosque is next door. There's more of the halal food over here. This is the back of the mosque. You can see on the right there are Muslim restaurants. One of the famous ones is over here. It's called Singapore Zam Zam. See this Singapore Zam Zam? Zam Zam is actually a place in Saudi Arabia. That's where they found the holy water. So this shop named after Singapore Zam Zam. And they are very famous for their murtabak, the nasi biryani, and the fish curry. So you have a chance, you can try this in the city, or you can try this in the airport also. We have it in the airport. Airport, if you have a chance, if you don't have a chance to come to the city, yeah, and you want to try our local food, in the Terminal 3, we also have the food court. You can go to the food court, and you can try the food over there. This is Arab Street. Arab Street has a lot of textile. Yeah, the Muslims come here to buy the material to make their New Year clothing. So they are very nice boutique shop like this. One more look at Haji Lane. Haji Lane. Daytime you can see not very crowded, but if you come here around 4-5 o'clock, you can see this lane full of people. Yeah, they have very nice boutique shop like this. Can you see the shop is very small. So the people actually have to make way. They make use of the space that they have, and they decorate their shop. They create their own business. Yeah, because over here there's a lot of these shops owned by young entrepreneurs. The young entrepreneurs actually they create their own shop and they create their own business. That's why if you have a chance to go to Haji Lane, yeah, inside there's one shop that I'd like to recommend to you. It's called Selfie Coffee. Have you heard of Selfie Coffee?
No.
Selfie Coffee means you go into the shop. What happened? You go into the shop, you take a selfie of yourself, and when you order the coffee, on top of the coffee is your selfie. Never seen this before, so it's very interesting. I find that this owner, she's very creative. Yeah, she created this business because they know that a lot of people are going for bubble tea. I believe you heard about bubble tea? A lot of people go for bubble tea, they go for Gongcha, Liho. All these bubble teas are very popular in Singapore. So what happened to the coffee lover? So she actually created a market for herself. She actually concentrated on coffee lover. So people who love coffee, for a change, why not go and try the selfie coffee? Very interesting, right? So you must take a picture before you drink. Once you drink it, finish. It's gone. So if you have a chance to come here, yeah, do visit the Haji Lane. Yeah, they also have a lot of these street art. Can you see the street art? This is not better listen, this is permitted. Okay, inside the Haji Lane, they have more of these street arts. They call it the street art. Okay, very nice, beautiful street art inside the Haji Lane, inside this area. So a lot of people come here, especially the young teenagers, yeah, they like to come here, hang around, take a picture with all these street arts, and then try looking at all these shops, the cafe, the boutique shops that they have in Haji Lane.
Alright, so our tour has ended. Now I'm gonna go to the Jewel for another tour, but without the tour guide. It's just me.